Epilogue, where it all began. The ferry ride felt different this time. Not because the water had changed, the same turquoise stretch shimmered under the sun, the same warm breeze carried the scent of salt and fruit. But Lily wasn't going to escape anymore. She was arriving to stay. She stood at the railing, fingers curled lightly around the metal, her hair catching in the wind as the island came into view. The same island where everything had started, where she'd let go, where she'd found him, and somehow, she'd found herself again. "Hey!" Ronan's voice came from behind her. Familiar, grounding. She turned, smiling instantly. "You followed me," she teased. He stepped closer, slipping his hand into hers, as it belonged there, which it did. "Hard not to," he said. "You kind of changed my entire life." She laughed softly. "I think you had something to do with that." Maybe a little. It had been a year, a full year, since everything fell apart and came back stronger. The business thriving, not because it was perfect, but because it was real. Built smarter this time, stronger, together. Lily didn't leave her career behind. She expanded it, split her time, Miami and the island, law and life, structure and freedom, and somehow it worked, because they made it work. The ferry docked, they stepped off side by side. And just like that, they were back where it all began. The bar with the blue door still stood the same, warm, familiar, alive. But now it carried history. Their history. "You ever think about that first day?" Ronan asked as they walked toward it. "All the time," she said. "I almost didn't go in." He glanced at her. "That would have been tragic." "Life-altering," she corrected. He smiled. "Yeah, that too." Inside, everything buzzed with quiet excitement, but not the usual kind. Something intentional. Tessa stood behind the counter, grinning the second she saw them. "About time," she said. "You're late." Lily frowned slightly. "For what?" Ronan squeezed her hand gently. "You'll see." He led her through the bar, past the music, past the laughter, and out. To the beach. The same stretch of sand where they'd once sat. Everything broken. Where they'd rebuilt from nothing. But tonight, it was different. Candles lined the shore. Soft lights flickered in the distance. And a small group of people stood waiting. Friends and chosen family. Pieces of life they'd built together. Lily's breath caught. "Ronan," he turned to her. And in his eyes, there was no hesitation. No fear. Just certainly. "I've spent a lot of my life trying to prove something," he said. "To my dad, to myself, to the world." She stayed still, her heart already racing. "But you," he continued, "you never needed me to prove anything. You just saw me." Her eyes softened. "And somewhere along the way, I realized I don't need to build something to be enough." He stepped closer. "I already am. Because of who I am. And who I'm becoming. With you." Her throat tightened. Because she felt it too. Every word, every moment that led them here. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small box, opened it, and just like that, everything else faded. "Lily Hart," he said softly, "you walked into my life when I didn't even know I was missing something." A tear slipped down her cheek. "You fought for me, stood beside me, challenged me, changed me." He took her hand. "I don't want a life that doesn't have you in it." His voice dropped slightly. "Marry me?" The ocean filled the silence, the same rhythm, the same steady pull. But this time, there was no uncertainty, no fear, no question. Lily let out a soft, breathless laugh through her tears. "You didn't even let me pretend to think about it," she said. Ronan smiled. "I know you." She shook her head, smiling wider now. "Yeah," she whispered. "You do." A beat. Then, yes. The words settled into everything, into the air, into the waves, into the life they'd built. Cheers broke out behind them, laughter, clapping, but Lily barely heard it. Because Ronan was pulling her in, kissing her. Like this wasn't just a moment. It was a promise. Later. The music played, the bar filled, the night stretched long and warm, and Lily found herself standing at the edge of the water once more. Full circle. Ronan joined her, slipping his arm around her waist. Same spot, he said. She nodded. Different ending. He smiled. Better one. She leaned into him, resting her head against his shoulder. This isn't the end, she said softly. He kissed the top of her head. No, he replied. It's not. The waves rolled in. The stars stretched endlessly above, and somewhere between where they started and where they were going, they found something real, something lasting, something worth everything it took to get there. And it wasn't just the beginning, it was forever.